Hang on. So, are we happy about the road trip overall? No. However, the Blue Jays in the finale of this series show us something that we have been looking for a while. A complete game. We see very good starting pitching from Francisco Liriano, some key hits. The umpire did help the Blue Jays a couple times, but the Blue Jays they capitalized on mistakes. They had a 5-run 6th inning, which really broke the game open. And the bullpen shut it down. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about the bullpen as we go along in the video, but first off, the Jays were down 2-0. Heading into the 5th inning, the Jays had nothing going against Jason Hamill. Ryan Goins gets a single, and then Jose Bautista steps to the plate and literally manhandles that pitch from Jason Hamill. He absolutely crushed it to deep right, and I mean, this was gone right off the bat. We had a tied 2-2 game. We move ahead to the 6th inning where things get a little crazy. The bases get loaded, nobody out. Let's review kind of like the whole inning and how it kind of broke down, because there were a lot of things going on in this inning that I don't know. It was really really odd, because the pitcher instantly just lost his command, and the Blue Jays were capitalizing on mistakes. Okay, Wi-Fi doesn't want to work, so we'll break down from what we see here. Jose Bautista gets the benefit of the doubt a little bit on the umpire, however, draws the walk, and the Blue Jays score a run. Therefore, they have the lead, but the bases are still loaded with nobody out. We're not satisfied yet. A 1-run lead with Roberto Osuna we're not sure yet. Well, Russell Martin hits a ground ball to third. He makes an error. Everyone's safe. Everyone was safe. And 1 run scores. The Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead, and the bases were still loaded. Josh Donaldson to the plate. He slaps the ball the other way down the line, doubles to right. Pierce scores, Bautista scores, and Russell Martin ends up at Russell Martin ends up at third. And, right there, the Blue Jays have scored, 4 runs in the inning. Oh, yes, the Blue Jays have a big lead, but we ain't done yet. We still got time. And Kendrys Morales then up. He grounds into a failed fielder's choice. Russell Martin scores, and there's the 5-run inning for the Jays on a couple errors, on a couple walked batters, and just a really good piece of hitting inning, I guess, by the Jays. They grind the at-bats, they get pitches to hit, they drive them. I mean, they did get some help from the umpire and the defense, but you got to capitalize. The Jays could have fell in the hole after a couple of those errors and only got 1 or 2 runs, but instead they got the job done, and that's what matters. And then Bautista singles to center, scoring Pilar just to add insult to injury and to just pad the stats a little bit to make it an 8-2 game. And then let's briefly look at Francisco Liriano's really good outing. Other than the home run that he gave up, and I think it was an Eric Hosmer single, he was dynamite. Through 6 innings, he gave up 6 hits, and if I'm not mistaken, in the 7th inning where he started, he gave up 2 hits. So 2 of those 6, if I'm not mistaken, were in that 7th inning. 2 runs, walked 1 guy, and struck out a couple. When Francisco Liriano walks 1 guy, this team has a very good chance, because he's got electric stuff, and he was very, very good today. He was very, very good. Now, let's break down the bullpen a little bit, because they had a pretty decent game. Danny Barnes comes into that situation where Liriano has guys at first and second, nobody out, and it's a 7-2 Jays lead. Great. Or I think it was an 8-2 lead for the Jays. Great. But we don't want to even give this team life. They came back by 3 runs in game 1 of the series. We don't even want to give them a glimpse of hope. Danny Barnes comes in and leaves those 2 guys standing right where they were when he came in, has a clean inning. It doesn't strike out a guy, but they don't move up. Therefore, inning is done. 7th inning is done. Great job by Danny Barnes. Leon comes in, gives up a couple hits, gets a strikeout. Nothing happening there. And then Roberto Osuna. I understand it was an 8-2 game, no save situation, but he comes into the game, and I think nothing but Blue Jay fans are like, this is amazing. He comes out, gives up one hit, but strikes out the side. I mean, you couldn't have made it any better for the guy. You know, I got to give Roberto Osuna an absolute ton of credit. He said he's been feeling anxious and been feeling weird and off. And he's been pitching off. Does it look like it? Not at all. This kid is battling through everything and throwing his heart out pretty much into this team. And he is doing a damn good job of it. And he did say after the game, if we're looking at, obviously he's going to be happy. His team wins. He incorporates in the win. And there was actually a quote, Arden Zwelling of Sportsnet actually, talked to him after the game, and Osuna said, I felt really good. I felt better than yesterday and the day before. I'm just ready to work on that and get over it. As a 22-year-old, pitching in the bigs as one of the big closers in the game, for goodness sake, he became the youngest pitcher in the history of baseball to get 75 saves in his career. The youngest. The next closest is 2 years older. I don't know who it was, but they were 24. Roberto Osuna is pretty much one of the best young closers in the game. And this guy has the guts to come out and say this a couple days ago. I mean, arguably, I don't think he had a choice because everybody in Blue Jays Nation and the media are like, why didn't he come in that inning? But he did tell us, and he says he's going to work on it, and I bet he got nothing but support from everybody. He got support from everybody on this channel, all of Blue Jays Nation, probably everybody in the Jays clubhouse, everyone around the league probably. And, like he said, he's been feeling a little bit better, and then he comes out in this game. Yes, the game is way out of reach, and it's not a save, but he comes out, strikes out the side, and finishes the game off. You couldn't have pictured it any better. The starting pitching was great. The clutch hits were pretty darn good. The bullpen was locked down. That's beautiful. Now this is where this is the make or break time for the Jays. They did what we wanted, and that was to get the finale of this series. Now, they have a day off tomorrow, and then they come home for Baltimore and Boston, and then they go to New York. And I'm not sure where they are when it comes to Houston, and that is the All-Star break after that. By that stretch, we should know whether this team is a contender or a pretender. We will learn as we go along. Now, if the Baltimore Orioles tell us anything, they broke that streak of 5 or more runs in a game. I think it was yesterday. Well, they're right back in the train again today. They give up 5 today, but they scored 8. That's the Baltimore Orioles way. And they got the win. Okay. So now they come to Rogers Center for a 3-game series. What will this Blue Jays team look like? They went on the 7-game road trip. They went 3-4 on the trip. Weren't that great overall. And now you come home for a big couple series. Boston is the team leading the division right now. If you want to even get close to these guys and sniff them out a little bit, you got to win a series. You got to beat Baltimore. You got to do what you have to do. Winning series is key at this point. Try not to think about 500 right now and think about winning series. 500 will come. This team will come. But it's all about this first series against the Orioles. If this team loses this series against the Orioles, it was a waste of time. But if they win this series, it's all but positive news. So, let's preview that. I was not even going to do that, but you know what? Let's preview that series very briefly here because, I don't have a lot of time here. But, so the Jays have an off day tomorrow. Kevin Gausman, an ERA of 6.47 against Joe Biagini. Wade Miley, ERA 4.48. That's pretty darn good for them. And Marcus Stroman looking for a bounce-back outing. And then Ubaldo Jimenez, ERA of 7, almost 7.5, 7.26 against Jay Happ, who's been throwing the ball extremely well of late. And we're at home. Let's get the fan base behind us, and let's get some wins, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed this game, because it was great seeing Roberto Osuna and the Blue Jays come out on top, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you guys' thoughts were on the game. the Osuna kind of like the way it all went. I thought it was great. And how the Blue Jays played overall. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk to you guys. Well, I guess it'll be Tuesday as the Jays open up the little home stand against the Baltimore Orioles. Joe Biagini, Kevin Gausman. Here we go. This is going to be big. We'll talk to you guys then.